Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Lilian Gishuru, and today I have a guest who's known as Brian Ikonya. He's a manager at GGS Babacats or Groomed. They also have a YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe to their channel, and he's going to start us. Today we're going to be discussing about sibling rivalry, and today he's going to start us off with a story so that you can get to know more about sibling rivalry. So, karibu sana.
Oh, thank you so much, Lilian, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to discuss further about sibling rivalry, which everyone is experiencing, apart from the children who are born in a situation where they're the only child in the family.
Yeah.
So, I'll start with two stories in actual sense.
Yes.
And the first one will be about my two nieces, which I'm not liable to mention their name. I don't want them to kill me anyway.
Yes.
After this show, don't know. I have several nieces.
Yes.
Anyway, so one name is Mary and the other one is called Jen. Those are their affable names, not their real ones, so they won't figure out.
Yes.
Good luck figuring out that. So Mary is older than Jane. And when I was at their home, I discovered something. The kids were playing around, and I was so interested in the kind of play they had, because I was, hey, wow, this is so amazing. Kids playing around the house, and they're jovial, and they want to get involved into your life, and you're like, okay. Then, funny thing, something happened, and the mom called Mary and told Mary, kindly go get Jane some food. Then Mary went and got some food and came and fed Jane. Then, a while later, Mom told Mary, go do this for Jane. And Mary went and did it for Jane. After a while, Mom requested something from Mary, and Mary was like, "Kwani mimi si mtoto?" Because the mom would always describe Jane as fanyia mtoto. Then, I was, all of a sudden, something hit me super hard. I was like, what did this child say? Kwani mimi si mtoto? Mary is the firstborn, and Jane is the secondborn, the lastborn in their family. So there were character plays roles that they do play that affect who they are based on who they are. And sometimes Mary would go and pinch Jane and cry, and poor Jane would cry out loud, and Mommy would come and pinch. Why was Mary turning so vicious to the point that she would pinch Jane? It's a form that is from a child point of view.
Sure.
The second story will elaborate further about the whole story and how it plays along, so that you get to understand how sibling rivalry can turn into a point whereby from bad to evil. And the most important bit is how to mitigate it so that it doesn't turn evil.
So maybe you're there and you're watching us and you don't even know what sibling rivalry is. So let's have Brian explain to us what is sibling rivalry.
Sibling rivalry is when one sibling or other sibling think one of them or the others, or they gang up together in terms of groups to think that the other faction is against them, and it only turns horrible when siblings think that they can't exist without the other one being dealt with.
Sure.
That's when it's called evil sibling rivalry. So rivalry is something so common between siblings. And I'll top it up with the last story. The last story is about a family of who is a close friend of mine, and there are several kids of them. I'm not liable to say their names, so be curious about that and kindly figure it out. If you figure it out, well and good to all my friends. Big up. I hope you're not gonna kill me for this. Okay. So there are several kids in the family, and there's a first one. The first one has had to mature up super fast, because like when you're in a family of several kids, and you find that the parents don't have enough time for raising all the kids. So what happens? Majority of the time you find that the first one is told, do this for so and so, do this for so and so. So the first one is always in this dilemma of, I'm entire kid, and they have to mature up super fast, and the moment they make a mistake, they are given a hell of a beating, a hell of a whooping by their parents, and the small ones are like, you mean if I do that, that makes mommy and daddy turn horrible, so I'm not going to do it. Then the firstborns are always like, I'm not loved in this family, so they struggle so much with identity issues, self-confidence, and also finding themselves in family. Now, the middle bonds do have a special issue that I've really researched on and found out. They complain so much about almost everything, and they are always looking for their place in the family. Because majority of the time they're not the firstborn, so I'm not always told to do things. So sometimes my parent is always discovering this, or my parents are always discovering things and telling me, and I'm not the lastborn, the baby. The one who is always told that you do this for the baby. And the lastborn always has this challenge. Like typically, when am I a baby and when am I a grown up? And the others are always like, you baby, you're telling us to do this. How dare you tell me that? And I've seen you doing this to your diapers, bed wetting. So you can never mature. So lastborns will always try extravagantly to do something so that they are noticed.
Yes.
And when they are doing that, kindly, other siblings, don't fight them. It's a syndrome that they pick up as they grow up because they also need some space.
Sure. So we are going to go deeper and to know what causes sibling rivalry. Yes. And as we are going on, kindly comment down below. Tell us your experiences with sibling rivalry, and we'd like to hear from you. Tell us what causes sibling rivalry.
So amongst the major reasons that causes sibling rivalry is one, position of which you are in the family. Like let's say you're a firstborn or a middleborn or a lastborn. In that, middleborn can be so many, such that they're not baby in the family, and they were partly a baby, and later on they were not the baby, so they were like this threat came up, so I'm no longer the baby, so sometimes they'll go pinch and everything. So from there we go now to the next stage whereby we have sibling rivalry that emanates from a parent having a favorite. Like this parent is a favorite of this kid, and then the others are always like, you who is loved more than us, what do you have that we do not have? So they'll always pick up on that kid and always try to like show negative love because you are loved, so why do I need to love you? I also need to love myself, and I also need to look for somebody who loves me. So they're always finding themselves in that dilemma. And whereby you find that it grows to the point that some siblings are loved in a certain side of the family than the others because they're named from that side. And the ones who are named from the other side are loved, and you'll find that those siblings will end up having those disparities because of like, when I go to this side, I'm not loved, so why am I going? It's gonna hurt me. So these people are my enemies. And when it registers that in the mind, it creates sibling rivalry, whereby this one feels as if they are loved more, and the other one feels doesn't loved more, most especially when they visit those locations, and they feel like that tension growing up of not being loved, and they see the other one as their rivals because they are loved more. Thirdly, those kids that who are able to outperform the others, it can be either financially, it can be either be academic, it can be something. It creates a gap that can easily be filled by sibling rivalry, where one feels more superior than the other one, and the other one feels more inferior, so they need to do something to fill this gap together, and the other one feels that this one has to do something so that they fill that gap. So it creates a rivalry that cannot be easily undone until somebody matures up between the two of them and decides to bridge that gap. So from there we'll mainly focus based on the position which you are in the family, like let's say a firstborn, a middleborn, or a lastborn, which we classify them into three sections, whereby middleborns can be so many, because sometimes the middleborn is a lastborn, then sometimes the middleborn is now no longer a lastborn, so they are busy like looking for themselves. I was the baby of the family. No, you're not the baby, there's another baby, so you need to grow up, but you're not the firstborn, so you're not being given responsibility. So middleborns are usually really looking for themselves in a stack of hay, or it's like looking for needle in a stack of hay. That's where they usually find themselves.
Thank you. Sibling rivalry that has many stages. There are children that are an only child. Some are 2, some are 3, some are 5, some are 10. So can you elaborate for us, like how can people deal with sibling rivalry on different stages?
Okay, for starters, we can start with an only child in the family. This child struggles with like sharing things and negotiating with other kids because they've never had that opportunity, and they need to learn them for the sake of, sometimes you have to just allow somebody else to have their way and partly your way next time, because now you are not like the only person. So a child who is born in their own family alone, the only rivalry they have is with parents and maybe with cousins and everything. So this can only be managed if parents put that child in a place whereby they have to negotiate and also share some things with other children, so that they also learn there's the art of sharing, and so that they're not so self-centered, because I'm the only child in the home, so what are you trying to tell me? How dare you tell me this? The larger perspective, there are disadvantages compared to a child who has grown up in a family of many kids, because now they learn how to negotiate early, and sibling rivalry is amongst the tool that helps them to negotiate and helps them to see the world at a different perspective, whereby you have to sacrifice and also sometimes
Sure. And how about, what is your advice for siblings that no longer talk to each other? Some have even grown old, they have their own families, but still don't talk to each other. What advice would you give them?
Well, the disadvantage of such a situation is that their kids are learning from them. Kids
Sure.
are super sharp, and if they do not find a way of bridging that gap, even if it's just trying, it doesn't mean that it will become perfect, or it will become a sail through and a still water. It will be a stormy water. But the beauty of it is that the kids will start learning that, hey, anyway, that system was horrible.
Sure.
So let them do it not for the sake of themselves. If they've grown up and become mature, do it for the sake of your own kids. Because apparently, kids do what they see, not what you tell them.
Sure.
So imagine this case scenario whereby you guys had a very horrible sibling rivalry, and now you did not address it when you were kids and everything. Well and good, that is past. But your kids are also seeing that.
Yes.
So it will spill down all the way to the cousins, all the way to the ninis, those who are supposed to help each other, and your kids will always be looking out for the faults of the others, because that's what they've seen you doing, and doing it far much better. So just find a bridge whereby you can help the other member come out from their pride, and also come out from your pride and shame level. Let them gloat in their own challenges as you also grow and learn, so that you also help to address those issues when they come to your kids when they are all grown up. They're also growing up and learning, and time will catch up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about siblings that are in diaspora, siblings that are in Kenya. How much rivalry is there between siblings that are in Kenya and hoping that their siblings out overseas in the diaspora, they should help them?
Yeah.
They feel like, you must help me. And the siblings that are in the diaspora think, these ones, they don't even think, they don't even have, they don't have brains. You know, like that's rivalry that comes in between, because them they are doing so well, so they don't understand why you guys are still struggling. You still, like, they feel like when you are calling them, it's only
about money.
So
and resources.
Like send me help. And what is your take on that?
My take on it is that you have to understand this. These are two different people who are viewing the world from two different perspectives, or a different keyhole. The one from diaspora has not been exposed as compared to the one who is in the States or somewhere. And the one who is in the state has been so exposed and has been taught so many different cultures, and there's a culture crash over here. So first and foremost, one has to accept that there's a culture crash between two different worlds. Then from there, find a way whereby if this one is so petified or horrified by things that are help, I need money, why don't you try avoid those and also now add more value? See, like, a way where you both can compromise. One has to step up and fill in the gap. Either the one who is in diaspora or the one who is in shags or wherever, whereby they can easily help the one who is like way belated. Because God forbid, if one day you got that phone call and told one of your siblings is dead, either in diaspora or in shags or in the local areas, you still chip in and help in. So the bigger question is, how dare you help out when that person is dead? Buy the most expensive coffin, buy the most expensive suit, yet when they were alive, you were busy pinpointing their weaknesses. In actual sense, what happens about pinpointing weaknesses that I came to discover, and I was in great shock when I discovered it, was whenever you see the weakness of your sibling, it's because you are seeing it there so that you can help out in it.
Sure.
Pride comes in that I've gotten my things right. How dare this person not get their things right so that I can help them? So sometimes it's also the question of who is willing to step into the gap, then filling the gap in such a way that it's not terrorizing them, but also helping the greater good of everyone. Because there's no one who is perfect. Despite you being exposed in the US or in any other country, let's name it Canada or the European countries, you still have weaknesses, and you need still help from the diaspora people, because majority of the time you still come back to your own country one way or the other. So one has to step into the gap and get to know, oh, I've seen this weakness in this one. How can I help so that they see that weakness and they grow out of it? Or how can I bridge the gap? Can I walk halfway and then they walk halfway, and we meet at a level ground where I've compromised something and they've also compromised something, because your kids are learning, and despite you getting them exposed to the best cultures, the best everything, the negative side effect of it will be that one day when they see how you treat your kin, they'll also treat their own the same way, because they also know that when you grow up, you're supposed to venture into another culture, learn it, leave the others, they'll survive. That's what I've learned.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's topic and the brilliant mind of Brian Ikonya. Kindly check him out on his channel at groomed GGS_Babacat, and kindly show him some love and support by subscribing, watch his content, and kindly share. Leave us a comment below so that we can interact more. And until the next one, keep smiling, keep believing in God, and keep believing in yourself. Bye.